Rise and shine, everyone. Time now 6 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us here on Sunrise. Jason Hackett and Lauren Lemanchek with you. I know when I was leaving the house this morning, encountered a little bit of fog. It wasn't easy to see out there this morning.
Yeah, eventually, hopefully that'll burn off today, although it's really different depending on where you're driving in from, John.
It does. Some of us will have very little fog. Like here in the backyard, there's really no fog, or it's very thin, but like Jason said, coming in on 212, well, I know the road he drives in on, 212 was foggy, and I had fog on Highway 10 coming into 212 as well. So southwest pocket of the metro, foggy start. Here's what it looks like outside this morning, 62 degrees, pretty warm in the backyard here. 42 in Bemidji. If you lose your high moisture content, which is exactly what it is, the dew point drop there, well, say goodbye to your temperature with clear skies. Again, clear skies, your temperature is gonna fall to your dew point. So they've actually started to dry up out there. Dense fog advisory until 9 o'clock for everybody. When you're looking at visibility here, see how the metro, we're kind of hanging around that patchy spot, but as I zoom in, you can see Eden Prairie, Carver, a little bit thicker down there, but it's already starting to thin. It's just not that thick. It hasn't settled in too bad, but if you're traveling in the southwest pocket here down south of Burnsville or Shakopee, again, be a little careful. Cece, how's it looking?
Yeah, that is good advice. Good morning. Fog looking a little better from what I'm seeing on traffic cameras. I mean, of course, here on Highway 41 in Chaska, we're seeing the fog. But I mean, out as you're coming through Jordan and the Carver area, things are improving just a little bit. But still, as you head out, at least over the next 10 minutes, have your low beams on. If we take a look here, 694, 494 loop, I want to show you that things are really quiet right now. That will definitely change in about an hour and a half. But for now, if you're headed out before 7, things are great. Same thing. Heading south toward the Burnsville split and even farther south or east in any area. When I see you next around the 6:15 time, we are going to go up to the Columbus area because there's going to be some work there tonight right before the Forest Lake split. I'll let you know more about that in a few, Lauren.
All right, Cece, thank you. We do have some breaking news to start with north of the Twin Cities.
The neighbors are safe this morning, and a shelter-in-place order is lifted in the city of Wyoming, Minnesota. For several hours late last night, people were told to stay in their homes near Forest Boulevard Trail and Goodview Avenue after authorities say an intoxicated man was threatening to harm himself and made statements to friends to shoot police officers. Just after 9 p.m., shots were fired from inside his home. And according to a press release, nearby houses were hit by bullets. There were reports that the man tried to enter homes in the area, but police are telling us this morning there is no confirmation or evidence that that actually happened. For several hours, police tried to make contact with him, even sending in a drone through a window. Once they entered his home, though, authorities discovered he'd already apparently died by suicide. No one else was hurt. Another big story that we're following, the woman who purchased the guns later used to ambush first responders in Burnsville last year will be sentenced in federal court today.
Ashley Deardahl pleaded guilty in January. The shooting killed Burnsville officers Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Ruge and firefighter paramedic Adam Finseth. Michelle Beck is live outside the federal courthouse in St. Paul this morning with what we can expect today.
Well, hey there. The court schedule says the sentencing will be at 2 p.m. today for USA versus Deardahl. And on your screen, you can see Ashley Deardahl right there. Prosecutors will be asking a judge for 3.5 years of prison time after they say Deardahl bought every firearm from the scene of the Burnsville shootout, then gave to her boyfriend, Shannon Gooden. Gooden was a convicted felon. He wasn't allowed to buy or have guns. Documents from prosecutors reveal Deardahl lied to investigators, saying the firearms in question were for her own hobby collection. The text messages show Gooden thanking his girlfriend while at a shooting range, plus Deardahl texting someone else, "I was trying to help the man helping me."
It is extremely serious. Obviously, we have 3 of our public safety partners, friends, family that were killed in line of duty because of her actions. So yes, she's accountable to this.
Yeah, so out of all this came a new Minnesota state law, one making a firearm straw purchase a felony. More details on that ahead in the next 30 minutes. Back to you.
All right, Michelle Beck reporting live. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. This morning, we are one step closer to Governor Walz calling a special session to address gun laws after the Annunciation Church shooting. Within the past 24 hours, he met with top legislative leaders. Our Jennifer Hoff outlines the priorities for parties on both sides of the aisle.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming.
Governor Walz speaking to the press after a private meeting with top legislators determined to call a special session to create a public safety policy after a violent summer.
We have weapons of war and high-capacity magazines on the streets that should not be there. We have folks that have firearms that should not have them, and we should be doing everything in our power to do something about that.
Nearly 2 weeks ago, a shooter opened fire on Annunciation Church, killing 2 children. Walz saying their families are now demanding action. That coming just 2 months after a gunman killed Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband at home. House Speaker and Republican Lisa Damas says her party is focused on school safety, laying out 7 priorities it plans to pursue, some with the more than $100 million in funding from the now canceled Express Rail line to Duluth.
House Republicans are committed to making sure that we are keeping our schools and our communities safe, and that is a very broad way of looking at that and getting at the actual foundational root issues that cause someone to act out in such a horrendous way.
Well, this morning, we're still waiting to hear when the special session will take place. Right now, House Republicans have just a 1-vote advantage. That will likely go back to a tie after next week's special election to fill Representative Hortman's seat. In the Senate, at least one Republican would have to vote with Democrats to move any bill forward.
We're live in Washington, D.C. this morning, where President Trump's federal takeover of the city is set to expire today. However, that does not mean the National Guard will be leaving anytime soon. Last week, the Army extended its orders for the D.C. National Guard to stay in the district through November 30th. And now House Republicans are pushing bills to expand federal control of D.C.'s justice system. So far, 14 bills have been introduced that would change local laws.
New developments this morning in the case of 2 missing Minnesotans. The first is in New Prague, where authorities say they believe they found the body of Logan Sampson in a field who went missing on Sunday. About 50 people came to help search for the 24-year-old yesterday, many who had never met Sampson. We are still waiting for authorities to make a positive identification and release a cause of death. And developing within the past 8 hours, officials in the state of Wyoming say they believe they found the body of a Minnesota man who's been missing for more than a year. 43-year-old Wesley Dopkins of St. Paul was last seen kayaking on Jackson Lake in Grand Teton National Park in June of last year. A nonprofit search and recovery team reportedly found a body on Sunday and recovered it from a depth of more than 400 feet yesterday. The coroner's office still has yet to identify the remains, but officials do believe it's him.
This morning, we're learning about a new option for people needing inpatient mental health care, one that is coming to the Metro. Capitol Park Mental Health Hospital is having its grand opening at 2:30 this afternoon. The facility is geared toward adults 18 and up in need of hospital-level mental health care. It will start accepting patients at the end of the month, offering 144 beds. In 30 minutes, Audrey Russell will explain why that bed space is coming at a critical time in our state.
Right now, all 1,400 Teamsters 320 union workers are on strike at the U of M campuses across the state after Twin Cities workers joined in less than 12 hours ago.
If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it.
Now, the workers hold service positions, including food, custodial, and maintenance jobs. The U's website says some campus dining options are closed or limited, and cleaning is also reduced. The U says they offered Teamsters a fair and equitable contract. The union says they're prepared to strike as long as it takes.